turnaround day. I'm doing a backpack cruise, so this is the best time to film a ship tour. I'm on Independence and Seas, so let's see what it looks like. So I'm starting the tour on deck 12, and this is Aquanauts. This is where you can bring your children for some daycare. It's quite colorful, and it is separated by age groups. They even have all the different workers and some profiles on them. I think that is a nice touch that they provide. And that was as far as I was able to get in Aquanauts. The rest of it was closed off, which I completely understand. But this is where it's located. We are on deck 12, and you can see a little bit of the map right there. But right outside of Aquanauts is the Adventure Ocean area, and this is the arcade. Honestly, this is an amazing arcade. It is such a fun thing for the kids, and I mean, I enjoyed it as well, I'm not gonna lie. There's pretty much every game that you can imagine, and to pay for these games, all you need to do is swipe your SeaPass card. I know, it sounds completely dangerous. I've been told that you can load up some credits on the cards for your kids and give them a set amount to spend at the arcade or whatever. And it seems to be a pretty good idea, and I've definitely seen a lot of people have some fun in this arcade. And honestly, it just keeps going and keeps going and keeps going. Oh, and then this is the back side of Adventure Ocean, and looks like ages 6 to 8, so that's pretty cool. Got some cool air hockey, the bowling game. And then as we head back, we get to the older age groups Adventure Ocean area, and we have Voyager here, which is ages 9 to 11, and then Fuel, which I believe is just like 11 to whatever upper age they go to. And making our way back through the other side of the arcade, I just can't believe how many games there are. I could spend hours and hours and hours here. This is like a kid's casino. And continuing out to the side, we'll see what other things we have going on here. This is the Royal Babies and Tots Open Play. It looks like you can bring your small children in for some playtime. And then to the right, we have Johnny Rockets. Johnny Rockets is not included in your cruise fare, so it is a dining option that you have, but it will cost extra to visit. If you haven't been to Johnny Rockets before, it's kind of just like a classic diner that has burgers, fries, and milkshakes. And if you didn't know, you can use your diamond drinks on milkshakes at Johnny Rockets. This week I had an Oreo milkshake, and it was so good. I really like the open air seating of Johnny Rockets, and inside is really cool. They play some oldies music, and it's just a really nice vibe. So this is the outdoor area of Fuel, and it's kind of cool. I think it's really interesting how they set up the kids area next to the flow rider and the outdoor activities. I feel like it's just very seamless for some fun for the kids, and it just seems like everything was set up in mind to kind of have everything really fun in one place so you wouldn't have to be so scattered. So here we are on the back of the ship going up to the 13th floor. We have the flow rider, this really interesting Pringles looking structure, as I like to call it, that the kids can get inside of and play. And above we have, I'll walk you up for a second. There is the Sky Pad. And the Sky Pad was this really interesting idea that Royal Caribbean had, and it was like a virtual reality trampoline thing, and I've heard that it just like didn't work out, so they no longer have that available. But you know, it's still a cool place to go up. They have like sub soccer up there sometimes in cornhole. I wasn't able to get up there because it was closed right now, but it's also a good spot to watch the sunset, kind of hang out. This is the sports court. They have pickleball, volleyball, basketball, soccer, pretty much lined for every sport. There's a lot of open play time, so I definitely like to sit back in the Crown Lounge and look out at people playing and just enjoying the day. It's a really nice facility. So you can walk around the sports court and get to a bunch of loungers which are next to the water slide, which is very nice. I like this idea that, somebody can be down there sunbathing and watching the bag while another person goes up on the water slides, and I will be that person up on the water slides. I can bet you that. Unfortunately, I don't have access to the suite lounge, but upstairs is where that would be. But if you follow along the sports court, you get to the rock climbing wall. The rock climbing wall is open for use at various points within the cruise, and it's included in your cruise fare. So it is a free thing to do along with the flow rider and the water slides. And while we're up here, we might as well explore the other side of the upper level of the pool decks. So on the left, there were people playing ping pong. I believe that's kind of like ping pong alley over there where they've got a few tables set up. And there are tons and tons of loungers up here. And the red track that you see, yes, that is an outdoor running track. But as you may be able to tell here, there is no space to run. They've got these casitas just absolutely blocking the track. You likely will not be able to run. Even when it's not crowded, there's just not much space. So this is probably one of the worst ships for outdoor running, but that's okay. You can run at the gym. And here's our Splash Away Bay. Look here. This is the area for kids with some water slides and some splash pads. And if you continue along, you'll see all the little reserve signs. I believe you can rent these every day. I actually see quite a few people renting them, and they look quite cozy. And so if you look down, you can see the main pool area here. There are a couple hot tubs, there are a couple pools. This is the area where they will host events like the belly flop contest and Sexiest Man and things like that, which are really fun to watch. I really like to be up on the 13th level, looking down at the 12th level pool deck for those types of events, and just to get like a bird's eye view. I feel like it's a really nice area, kind of away from all the commotion and things like that. You'll see a big screen there, and they often have movies playing outside, and you can sit in a hot tub and watch a nice movie. They usually have like pretty new movies playing. I'm honestly surprised sometimes by the titles that I see. It's really cool. And up on this level, there's only this one bar, and then the seating that you see on the right is reserved for Pinnacle and Suites, I believe. This is where you do the casita check-in as well. And you still have a nice view of the TV and the pool deck area from up here. This is just a really nice area. Kind of less populated than the lower pool decks, I would say, on sea days, and just great places to sit and watch a movie or just get a drink kind of away from the crowd. And now I'm walking towards the front of the ship, and this is an area that I actually didn't find out about until after the first week that I was cruising on the ship. I honestly thought this was reserved for suite guests, but it looks like there's a little hidden away sunbathing nook with these really cool loungers on them. Later on in the cruise, I saw people bundled up. This was a Norwegian Fjords cruise. I saw people bundled up with like some hot chocolate watching a movie in the evening, and it looked like a perfect spot to do so. So I'm heading down to the front of the ship, and we'll look down, and this is the solarium pool area. Solarium is an 18 and up area. There's usually no music playing. It's just kind of a relaxing place to be, to read a book, and there's usually some food down there as well, just some kind of grab and go stuff. Heading up to the 14th floor, we have Independence Dunes. So if you're itching to hit the links on the ship, you can absolutely do that. This is the area where they have mini golf. You can get a little view, again, of the solarium pool deck. But this is also kind of a hidden lounger area. Another place to get some sun. I know on some sea days it's just absolutely mobbed at the pool and you can't find anywhere to sit. But this is the secret lounge area. I don't see a lot of people up here. That big white oval structure that you see is a shower as well. So if you get a little toasty, you can just hop in there, hop on the golf course, whatever suits your fancy. It's your vacation. So this is 9 holes of golf. They have golf balls and clubs waiting for you, and you can just play at your leisure. There's no need to sign up or anything. Although I did see that they had a hole-in-one contest last cruise, and I was really interested in trying, but it just didn't match up with my schedule, unfortunately. Now we're heading inside to deck 11, and this is the fitness center. Those spiral stairs lead up to the spa. So there is a big area to the right where you can go in, and it's generally like a free use area, but they will host some classes like Pilates and yoga and things like that you can sign up for. And I believe there is an extra cost, but I'm not sure what that is. There are so many free weights, which is really nice. There is a Smith machine and squat rack, and lots of treadmills. I actually really liked the variety of machines on this ship. I feel like someone really did a good job picking out all of the different equipment here. There was basically a machine for any muscle group that you wanted. There were also lots of rowing machines, stationary bikes, and Stairmasters, which were pretty cool. This is a really nice space. I didn't feel like it was ever too crowded, and I definitely felt like it had most of what I wanted. And here we are in the changing room and sauna and steam area. Since it's turnover day, I did walk in here, make sure nobody was in here first before filming. But here we have the sauna, and then across from that is the steam room. I did use both of these on my last sailing, and it was super nice. And these are services that you do not have to pay for. There are also showers and some lockers in here, which is really nice. Hello. Now we're going to go out to the right, and we are in the solarium. There's some really nice like common room sitting areas over there with tables if you want to sit and, enjoy the company of your friends and family. Maybe play some cards, have a nice meal together. And then actually under that bridge, there's a little swim up bar too, which is pretty cool. And then of course you have a bar in the back serving cocktails. To the right is a hot tub, and then there is an exact twin of it on the other side as well. So there were 2 hot tubs here. And these loungers are mirrored on the other side as well. So plenty of places to relax and enjoy the view. And now we are walking onto the main floor of the pool deck here. We are still on floor 11. So coming up, we have a hot tub on the left, a pool on the right, and 2 hot tubs kind of tucked into the pool as well. And as you can tell, there are just plenty of places to sit, although it doesn't feel like that on sea days sometimes. Then we have another pool here. Sometimes they'll have like water aerobics and Zumba and things like that out on the pool deck too. Now it's worth noting, if you're traveling with a smoker or are a smoker yourself, there is one side of deck 11 that's designated to smokers, and I believe the only other area that you can smoke on this specific ship sailing out of the UK at least is deck 4. On the walking track, there is a smoking section on half of that. Now this is the ground floor of Splashaway Bay. And they've got many things for the kids, a couple hot tubs too. And like I mentioned before, all this is included. There are plenty of lifeguards. There are life vests available for you to rent, as well as towels. And this place is honestly the place to be during the day. I see so many kids having fun here, and it is really cute. Now, this ship is really interesting. They don't have an El Loco Fresh, but what they have is fish and chips, because this is a ship that typically cruises out of the UK. So they have fish and chips and chicken fingers and things like that, and that is included in your cruise fare, so that is a complimentary dining option. Now, walking into this side of the ship, which is the back of the ship, we are now going to walk towards the Windjammer. When I first came into here, the Windjammer was closed, so I had to come back. But this is where Giovanni's and Chops also are. This is a really nice space, and I feel like they just decorated it very well. If you've ever been on a cruise, you know the first thing before you go into the buffet is the washi washi station. We've got the menus for Chops and Giovanni's right outside as well, which is a really nice touch, I think. Welcome aboard! I actually had a piece of this cake and it was so good. So there's Chops on this side, and then on the mirror side is Giovanni's. Also, you might have noticed a second ago we walked past a bar. They have things like fresh juice, coffee, cappuccinos, and they also have a full service bar with beer and cocktails and things like that. Of course, there is the complimentary coffee, tea, water, lemonade, and assorted juices, but they're not fresh juices. But all of those are just included in your cruise fare. And there are just so many food options here. There's a meat carving station, and there are things for people who are gluten-free, vegetarian. There are some vegan options. Of course, there's dessert and fruit, always a hot spot on the cruises. And look at the lovely view you have while you're enjoying your dining. I really enjoyed the UK sailing, just as an aside from Independence of the Seas, because they had some really interesting food options that I've never seen in the US. So that was just a really cool experience from the Windjammer. They also have a Coke Freestyle machine up here, so if you were someone who got the drink package, then you could fill up your soda up at the Windjammer. And this is basically just a big horseshoe shape of food. It's usually just a mirror image of one side, and there's just even more seating up at the front towards the bar. And then you'll see that this is Giovanni's. So Giovanni's and Chops are not included in your cruise fare, so they are going to come at an extra cost if you decide to visit those restaurants. Alright, it looks like I just wanted to give you a view of the map here. Just a little overview. I'm on floor 10, and it's kind of cool how these ships are set up to give you just views of the ship. Like, it's kind of feels a little like open air, doesn't feel very claustrophobic. Have something to look at kind of no matter where you are, which is really cool. It just feels pretty artsy and vibrant, which is really nice. So all the other floors that I just passed were just staterooms. And there are 1,929 staterooms on the ship, which kind of blows my mind because there are stateroom attendants that are in charge of those rooms and just doing a fantastic job. And I just can't imagine with so many rooms how they're able to just service the room so well. But that's just my thoughts. And here we are in the promenade. How beautiful is this? So to the right is guest services. To the left, we have another bar. I didn't quite pick up the name on this one. I know on Freedom of the Seas it's called R Bar, but I believe it's something different on Independence. But this is kind of the main hub. This is where everything is happening. You can book your next cruise at Next Cruise. There is shopping. We also have Sugar Beach, where you can get some candy, a cafe and promenade to the left. And then there is some ice cream. This is Sprinkles, which is really cool. Sprinkles is not included, so you do have to pay for that. But Cafe Promenade has some quick treats that you can pick up, which is included in your cruise fare. And that usually ranges from sandwiches to apples, cookies, little desserts, things like that that you can grab on the go. This is the main area where they will have like decade parties, dance parties. They sometimes do like little parades and stuff in the promenade. This is kind of just the epicenter. To my right was Vintages. It's kind of like a wine bar. And to the left you have the pub here. Most of the other things that I don't mention are just the shops. So there are places for kind of souvenirs, like sometimes they have some things specific to the ports, but it's mostly just Royal Caribbean swag and then other generalized like boutique shopping. As you can see, we have two of the Coke Freestyle machines here right next to Sorrento's, which is a complimentary dining option, and it is pizza, and dangerously enough it is pretty much all you can eat pizza. They also have tea and coffee here, just like they do at Cafe Promenade, that you're welcome to help yourself to. And I just wanted to give you a little overlook of the promenade when it was lit up. And I believe this was on White Night, right after an event let out. I just think it's really pretty with all the lights going. Really great area for taking pictures. So here is the Star Lounge area. The Star Lounge is a really nice venue that has a bar inside of it where they host events like Battle of the Sexes. They'll have karaoke, Family Feud, all those types of games are here. And then, like I said, there's the bar, plenty of places to sit. They even have dance classes in here. I really like that there's a little dance floor and it feels just like a pretty cozy space. Now off to the side of the Star Lounge is the library, and this is a quiet zone. There are computers, so if you have the internet package, you can connect to the computers and do some web browsing. They also provide some board games, some cards, and some books that you can borrow. I see a lot of families in here playing games or people just chilling. I honestly saw someone taking a nap last week. It's just a nice quiet spot to relax. They also have the weekly puzzles with the Sudoku, word search, and trivia on them. So I like to go in there and get one of those. Now down a flight of stairs and out to the side, this is kind of like a walking track. They have shuffleboard, but this was the other area I mentioned you can step out and have a cigarette. I think only one side is smoking, but it seems like they have some designated areas if that is something that you would like to do. And this is the Royal Theatre. I am on the upper level here. You can see that there is just a mass amount of seatings, which is really nice. And then we'll head out to the 4th floor landing, and this is going to take us around to the Schooner Bar. So after shows let out, this area gets crazy because everyone just flows into the Schooner Bar looking for a cocktail. This is also where Izumi is. So this is the Japanese hibachi and sushi restaurant here. that is a dining option you can explore if you're interested in the additional charge. And you can see the Royal Theater from there and into the Schooner Bar. The Schooner Bar is just a classic Royal Caribbean bar. They have some really nice signature drinks. If you're interested, I do a review, very in-depth, of all the cocktails at the Schooner Bar. And I was surprised at what my favorite was. So this is Casino Royale. It was an interesting change from the last Casino Royale that I went into, because out of the UK you cannot smoke in Casino Royale. But you'll see here we have some table games. Looks like minimum blackjack there was $10, which seems to be pretty nice compared to some other tables minimums that I've seen so far. Tried to get in as close as I could for some of these. And maybe I'll do an in-depth casino tour next time. You guys let me know if that's something that you're interested in seeing. But all the classics. Got craps, poker. They have some other interesting games. And of course, they have a ton of slot machines. So there's kind of something for everyone here. There's the big curved tops. They got Dragon Link. I know last week I saw just so many people on Dragon Link. That was one of the most popular games there. That stairwell actually leads right up to the promenade, which is very convenient. And you've got the classic coin pusher. On the back wall there's a bunch of video poker multi-game systems, and the slots just keep on coming. A lot of these are multi-denom, and there are a few that are a couple different games within the same skin. So maybe you'll just have to try your luck out and find something that works for you. Yeah, 3-card poker here. One thing I don't think I saw running, I did see a poker table, but I didn't see any poker games running on the last cruise that I was on. I don't know if they didn't have enough interest or what, but sometimes it seems to be kind of hit or miss. Yeah, they've got like Ultimate Texas Hold'em and things like that too. So if you want to play some kind of poker, they have some options. More games out in Playmakers here. And Playmakers is an area where they have some games. The ones that are lit up you have to pay for, but they also have like the tabletop shuffleboard thing and billiards that you can play. And in Playmakers, they'll have pretty much whatever sporting event you want to watch being played, which is pretty nice. I've noticed a lot of people in here for beers. They also have some food available for purchase, and it's like wings and fries, chicken tenders, and things like that. Off to the right here, we have Boleros, where they play live Latin music. Usually Boleros goes pretty late. It's usually a happening spot. They have some really good cocktails there as well. And now I'm walking towards the back of the ship. And this is where we start to get into the main dining area. Main dining is your complimentary dining room experience that you can go to every evening. If you do a set time for dining, you'll be assigned a table and a waiter and assistant waiter that you will have for the rest of the cruise. I really enjoy getting to know them and interacting with the wait staff. I feel like it's just a really nice personal touch. The service here is always really great, and the views are just stunning. I feel like they did a really good job decorating this area. If you're traveling with a group that's in different rooms, you can always contact the dining services ahead of time to book a table together with your party, and usually they're pretty great at accommodating this request. So this is just the other side of that walking track, and seems to be where people are getting on board as well. So we'll head back inside, and this is the 4th floor. Now heading down to the third floor. You know, I found it really interesting that on the European cruise, I saw so many people taking the stairs. It was kind of crazy because most of the time we just cruise out of Miami and usually the stairs are completely empty, but there was so much traffic on the stairs. The Europeans love the stairs. I kind of love to see it. So here we are on the third floor and walking into the art gallery. So this is where they have all the paintings for sale here, and to the right you'll see the desk where they have the agents there to help if you are interested in buying any of the art. Then further into the third floor there's going to be Focus, which is the photography area. So this is where you go if you want to purchase any of the pictures that are taken by the Royal Caribbean photographers on the ship. And then even further is Studio B. Studio B is a venue that has the ice rink. And unfortunately they were closed, but if you're interested in seeing what Studio B looks like, you can look at my Freedom of the Seas tour to see inside of Studio B. They'll also have game shows in there too. It's a really nice facility. And now I'm just heading right back up to round out this tour. I love the glass elevators here. I feel like it's a really cool touch. Now this is where the spa is. We're here on deck 12. I didn't go into the spa because I didn't want to get anyone's hopes up that I was going to buy a massage. I'm so sorry. But I have been on some of the spa floors and I have had some of the services. They're very nice and the facility is nice as well. So sorry I couldn't get in there. But this is the Viking Crown Lounge. This is where Olive and Twist is, the bar. There's a dance floor. There's a suite lounge that I've yet to be in. Notice I say yet. I've heard this is a very nice area. We are on floor 14, if I haven't mentioned that yet. This is a really great spot to go out and watch the sunset or really just look at any of the panoramic views on the duration of your cruise. This is a popular spot to get a drink in the evening, and I believe this is where the nightclub happens. And over here is the Crown Lounge. This is the area that Diamond Plus, and Pinnacle can access. I believe it's at different hours of the day too, sometimes for different levels of loyalty member. But it's a nice area with lots of tables. It's very quiet. There's not really any music going. And then you can see it extends out to the back to kind of a private patio facing the sky pad, facing the sports court and all that. I like to come out here and read a book. It's just a really nice space. So that's pretty much most of the ship. But I'll show you inside our room in case you're interested in seeing this. We were on the 8th floor in a standard balcony room and with a king-size bed, a couch, there's a vanity, floor-length mirror, hello, and then standard bathroom. I like these bathrooms because the showers don't have the shower curtains. But yeah, that's it. And there's a couple ducks I found on my last cruise. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you found this really useful and enjoy your cruise.